PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. I told you guys that I was right in the middle of the Prius launch for the Cincinnati region. And you know what? I was around when Prius was launched. And I got to tell you, I really felt like if you grabbed hold of that car, you could keep it from moving. But this new Prius is to the next level. I got to tell you, fun to drive, good looking car, great handling car. You know, I don't care that gas is $1.30 a gallon. I mean, I can see why you buy this car. And then let's look at the RAV hybrid. For $700 more, you get a hybrid. Man, Toyota, you're not making enough of those things. So what a great opportunity for me to be able to learn this hybrid system and then talk about safety. Now, we wiped the board with STAR Safety System. You know, if the customer understands STAR, then they understand that you know what you're talking about. What an easy way to be able to sell safety. They believe in you because you know what you're talking about. It's that oh moment where the customer goes, oh, I didn't realize that. Remember, every time you get an oh, the price of the car went up. Remember, when price equals value, car deal. Let me do that one again in case you missed it. Price equals value, car deal. So we're going to talk about that today and move to TSS and TSSP. Make sure you understand that if you're talking about TSSP, let's call P pedestrian, that it has all of the included we're talking about now. TSSC is a little bit less as far as content. So here we go. Over my right shoulder, let's look at this. Auto high beams, full speed dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert and steering assist, pre-collision, and then pedestrian detection. So today for PK52, we'll do the top two, and over the next couple of weeks we'll finish up. Let's start with auto high beams. The system's activated above 25 miles an hour. So how do you know that? You just memorize it. Once you're above 25 miles an hour, then here's what happens. I use a component as the camera. Remember, on all TSS and TSSP, the camera is different than you might think. And I want to break this down. Remember this for all of the following videos. The camera is not like a camera on your phone. The camera can see you as a human. If you're crossing the road, it can determine a shape, and that's a human. It can look at a building or a wall, and it can also look at a car. It communicates with a computer and actually recognizes shapes. One thing the camera can do that we can't do as a human is it can see at night. And the example I've been using during the launch is if you ever watch a major golf tournament like the Masters, the last group that comes in every single day comes in after dark. I'm not talking about dusk, I'm talking about after dark. But watching on TV, it looks like it's still in the middle of the afternoon or noontime because they open the iris of the camera and use the light from around and make it look like bright daylight. I can't see the kids playing at the end of the block, but I can tell you one thing, the car can. So the car makes you a better and safer driver. Low beam, so here comes an approaching headlamp, bam, low beams come on, don't have to do anything. If I get too close to a car that's in front of me, tail lamps, turn the low beams on. So when we test something like this, before we spend millions of dollars to put this in a car, we always go with a less expensive testing format. And we found some European tests that I think you might find extremely interesting. So here we go, looking at the initial European system. Works just as good as the one we have right now, less money. Here it comes. Obviously that worked. But here's the problem. Not everybody loves the larger breed of dogs. So if you have a Yorkie or maybe a small cat, they just don't have the paw length to be able to do that. So what we did is we went ahead and went with the initial system that was electronic. Works just as good. Second thing we'll talk about this week is full speed dynamic radar cruise control. Again, the system is active above 25 miles an hour. I'm a historian. I love history. History always repeats itself, so you don't have to check my facts. We fought World War II. We ended that war in two different theaters, 2 different years, 1944 and 1945. That's a battleship right there, and that's a submarine. We used millimeter wave radar, sonar, to find something we couldn't see, a submarine. So when somebody looks at you and go, now how does this radar cruise control work? How does it know there's a car in my lane? Well, in 1944, we could find a submarine. That's how it works. So let's look at this real quick and show you how this system works. It uses the camera. Remember, the camera can determine shapes, and the millimeter wave radar. Along with that, it controls the throttle and brake. I just spent some time in a state where somebody will follow you for 25 minutes, finally pass you, and immediately slow down. I have no idea why people drive like that, but if they cut you off or slow down, once you've set your distance settings on your radar, on your cruise control, it will throttle you back, decreasing fuel and air supply so it matches their speed. Listen, if they really cut you off, the computer can apply the brakes. Remember, if the computer applies the brakes, the tail lamps come on, warning the people behind you that the brakes have been placed on. If you don't explain to somebody about dynamic radar cruise control, then they're going to think every time somebody pulls in front of them, then the cruise control shut itself off. You have to go through the technology of this. I had a salesperson the other day, and I thought he was joking around, so I'm just going to be honest with you. He said, Casey, this doesn't work in snow, and I looked at him and I go, well, why would somebody turn their cruise control on if it was snowing outside? And he immediately defended himself by went back and go, well, it doesn't work in fog either. And I went, well, once again, if you can't see the road, bad time to be placing the cruise control on. Think about this. I'm driving down the highway, and I'm going to put this right in front so you can see it. If a car's in front of me and it goes down into a deprivation, the radar can't see him anymore. Your car is going to speed up and it's going to come right back up on him. So you've got to explain to the customer when this doesn't work, but it's a phenomenal system, and now you get the credit for being the smart one. The distance settings, and I don't think you're supposed to know this, but I know it, so I'm going to tell you. The first setting is 100 feet. Imagine on the launch, there's 6 Prius going down the highway. First guy's going 62 miles an hour. The other 5 cars latch onto this guy at 100 feet. We're going 70. 100 feet apart. Somebody pulls past us, they pull off the road, get gas, they come back and go, wow, those Toyota people are precision drivers. They're like a drive team. 100 feet, not yards. Middle is about 165, and then long is 245 converted to yards. We just had the Super Bowl. You guys can do this. So this is basically how this works.
Dynamic radar cruise control functions similarly to conventional constant speed cruise control in that it helps vehicles travel at a consistent speed set by the driver. But this system adds a vehicle-to-vehicle distance control mode, which assists the driver with helping to maintain a preset distance to a preceding vehicle when the preceding vehicle is traveling at lower speed. Once a vehicle speed is set by the driver, Dynamic Radar Cruise Control uses millimeter wave radar to detect vehicles in front of your vehicle and help determine their distance. The system is designed to adjust vehicle speed automatically within a set range to help maintain a preset distance between your vehicle and the preceding vehicle. If the vehicle ahead is detected traveling at a speed slower than your set speed or within your distance range setting, the system is designed to automatically decelerate your vehicle without having to cancel the cruise control. When a greater reduction in vehicle speed is necessary, the system may apply the brakes and operate your vehicle brake lights. The system will then respond to changes in the speed of the vehicle ahead in order to help maintain the vehicle-to-vehicle distance set by the driver, or return to the preset speed once the road ahead is clear. The vehicle-to-vehicle distance, or distance between your vehicle and the preceding vehicle, can be set by operating the vehicle-to-vehicle
So just like I told you, it's got 3 different settings. So this has been PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Stay tuned next week. We'll continue with TSSP.